Hey everyone, this is Zallard1, and today I'd like to talk about Punchout being released on the Nintendo Switch Online service today, as well as something really cool that I don't think anyone's talking about right now. So first off, let's get into Punchout. Punchout, being a classic game ported over to a modern console, suffers from something called input lag. Now, input lag is something where you press a button and it happens slightly later than you think it does, at least in-game. So for Punchout, that's kind of a big deal because the final fight of the game, Mr. Dream, requires you to react to random situations quickly. And with this extra input lag that you also have to deal with, it becomes nearly impossible. So right now I'm using a BenQ monitor, so I've taken every precaution to minimize the input lag for this version of the game. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I adjusted pretty quickly, so hopefully we should be able to squeeze by, get around one. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. I don't trust the input lag, so I'm not going to do the buffer for this first punch. I just want to beat him in round one. And just like that, we win. So we beat Mr. Dream in round one, despite the input lag. Pretty cool. That first phase kind of saved it. The rest, I missed pretty much everything. Now, this was not easy for me to do. I did a couple of takes before, and it didn't really work out. I just pretty much got hit immediately, so I got pretty lucky there. That's kind of what you would expect you'd have to go through to beat that fight. I mean, not for round one, but I mean just in general. But, yeah, it is still possible, clearly. Now, here's the other thing I want to talk about. So, there is, well, let's go to my main menu here. So, I have a Famicom version of this, but the thing is, as far as I know, Punch-Out, like Mr. Dream's Punch-Out, wasn't released in Japan. So I was kind of curious, because they only had Gold Punch-Out and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So I was wondering what port they used, what version of the game that they used for this Famicom equivalent. And this is a free service, by the way. If you have a Japanese account, you can go to the Japanese eShop and download that for free as long as you have the US Switch Online service. So, and to my complete surprise, they have the gold version of Punch-Out. Now, first off, let me talk about the Japanese version of Nintendo Switch Online. It has a bunch of different versions of games, like, for example, it's got the Nintendo Disk System version of Zelda, as well as Metroid. And I think maybe a couple of other things in there. Anyway, yeah, so the gold version of Punch-Out is significant to me because, as far as I know, there's no release of this outside of the original release. The gold Punch-Out was a very, very rare game. It was given out as a contest prize for a golf tournament back in, gosh, I guess 87, 86. I don't know for sure, but point being, it's a rather coveted item and pretty important piece of history in terms of Punch-Out, and it's free. You can play it right now if you want it. Gold Punch-Out has a couple of differences, the primary one being the palette. Now the palette's totally different from the US version, as well as some of the music samples. So, I'm gonna get to the end of this circuit real quick. Now, despite the input lag, this is still pretty playable. Mr. Dream was kind of the extreme case. Most of these fights are still pretty manageable, but just keep in mind that I'm using a BenQ monitor, so BenQ is pretty much one of the best monitors in terms of input lag out there. You're not going to be able to get a better response than this. So let's get over through these next two fights. I'm gonna try the difficult strategies if I can even remember them. Okay, cool. Probably not gonna do the difficult strategy on Honda. Oh, nice. Got a lucky star there. That's a 50-50 chance if I get 2 there instead of 1. But I don't know, I think this is so cool that this is a legally achievable version of the game now without having to go through crazy channels to get, you know, a gold cart. Gold carts are like 200 plus bucks right now, but it's just free on this. I think that's so neat. So yeah, that jingle there is what I wanted to show you, essentially. This version has a couple of differences. I'm going to try to get to Dawn 1, actually, now that I think about it, because there's another difference there. Let's see here. Because he got up on a 1 count, this star just takes him down immediately. Opponents getting up on 1 counts means that any subsequent star punch that lands will knock him down immediately. Nice. Cool. Alright. So, I'll talk about Don Flamenco 1 real quick. On every version of NES Punch-Out, Don Flamenco 1 has a star opportunity where you do a sequence of movements that I found several years back that gets you a really, really difficult star. It's frame perfect, but in every version of Punch-Out, you get it at 10 seconds, but in this version, you get it at 9, so technically you save a second here. Other significant differences in this game usually come from, Soda and Macho. Whenever you get a star, it takes longer to register, so it takes a little bit more time there. The movement set here is a little bit different. Let me see if I can do it. It's probably going to not work because of the input lag, but let's see what we got. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm actually curious, does the reset work? I think it's this one. So typically when you reset this version of the game, it saves the password. Nice, good. I'm glad they did that. So it's actually like a software reset. The passwords are also different on this version, for what it's worth. So I can't do the, the one from the US version that you're probably familiar with, to just get back here. I got it. Nice. Yeah, 9 seconds. So you'll never see that on the US version. This is a gold version exclusive. Let's see if I can get lower than the world record. Nope. I messed up. So I dodged too early to a point where it exceeded the amount of input lag I was expecting. But you can get times near 1448, 1461 if you do that correctly. The other big differences this version includes are, yeah, the star registering for Soda and Macho, different passwords, and Tyson/Dream are not in this version. This was before they included that fight. But yeah, this is really cool. I hope you all enjoy this video, and anyone who's interested in Gold Punch-Out, especially legally owning a version of it, this is probably the best way. This is probably your best bet. So anyway, thanks for watching.